Right now, sitting in your local grocery store, probably next to the carrots and the onions, is one of the most medically powerful foods that has ever existed on this planet. It doesn't cost you $20. It doesn't come in a fancy supplement bottle. And it has been used by physicians, researchers, and ancient healers for over 2,000 years. I'm Dr. And in my 30 years of practicing medicine, I have never stopped being amazed by what this one food can do to the human body. Today, I'm going to walk you through 15 different diseases and conditions that regular consumption of beetroot has been scientifically shown to fight, prevent, or improve. Whether you're 25 or 95, whether you're dealing with heart disease, cancer, diabetes, or just trying to protect yourself before any of that happens, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share could genuinely change how long and how well you live. What is beetroot A&D? Why is it so powerful? Before we get into the 15 diseases, let me give you just 60 seconds of science, because once you understand why beetroot does what it does, everything else will make perfect sense. Beetroot is the root of the Beta vulgaris plant. It has been cultivated for food and medicine since the Roman Empire. But modern science has only recently confirmed what ancient healers seemed to know instinctively. This vegetable is packed with an almost unbelievable concentration of bioactive compounds. Beetroot contains betalains pigments that give it that signature deep red color, which are among the most powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory molecules known to science. It is rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a gas that relaxes your blood vessels, improves circulation, and has profound effects on your heart, brain, and muscles. It contains folate, manganese, potassium, vitamin C, iron, and fibre. And it contains betaine, a compound that protects your liver and reduces inflammation at the cellular level. In other words, this is not just a vegetable, this is a medicine. And here is what it does. The 15 diseases beetroot fights disease 1, high blood pressure. Let's start with the #1 silent killer in the world, hypertension. Over 1 billion people on this planet are walking around with blood pressure that is slowly destroying their heart, their kidneys, and their brain. And most of them don't know it. Here's what happens when you drink 1 cup of beetroot juice or eat 1 medium beetroot. Within just 2 to 3 hours, the dietary nitrates in beetroot are converted by bacteria in your mouth and your digestive system into nitric oxide. That nitric oxide signals the smooth muscle lining your blood vessel walls to relax. Your vessels dilate, and your blood pressure drops. Multiple clinical studies, including trials published in the journal Hypertension, have shown that regular beetroot consumption can reduce systolic blood pressure by 6 to 10 points. That is equivalent to what some blood pressure medications achieve, without the prescription, without the side effects, without the cost. If you are already on blood pressure medication, do not stop without talking to your doctor. But know this, adding beetroot to your diet may mean you need less medication over time. Disease 2, heart disease, and coronary artery disease, your heart, is a muscle. And like any muscle, it needs blood, oxygen, and good circulation to keep working properly. Coronary artery disease happens when the arteries that feed your heart become narrowed, hardened, or blocked, usually by inflammation and plaque buildup. Beetroot attacks this problem from multiple angles at once. The nitric oxide it generates dilates your arteries and improves blood flow to the heart muscle itself. The betalain antioxidants reduce oxidative stress, one of the primary drivers of arterial plaque formation. The folate in beetroot lowers homocysteine levels in the blood. Elevated homocysteine is a major independent risk factor for heart attack and stroke. And betaine, one of beetroot's key compounds, has been shown to reduce levels of inflammatory markers in the blood, including C-reactive protein, which is now considered one of the best predictors of future cardiac events. In simple terms, beetroot keeps your arteries flexible, your blood flowing, and your heart protected. Disease 3, cancer, I want to be very clear here. I am not telling you that beetroot cures cancer. I am telling you what the published science says, and the science is genuinely remarkable. Beetroot contains a compound called beta-cyanin, the pigment responsible for its color, which has been studied extensively for its anti-cancer properties. Laboratory and animal studies have shown beta-cyanin can inhibit the growth of human cancer cells, including colon, lung, skin, and breast cancer cells. Additionally, beetroot's antioxidant activity neutralizes free radicals the unstable molecules that damage DNA and trigger cancerous mutations. Chronic oxidative stress and chronic inflammation are now understood to be two of the primary drivers of cancer development. Beetroot addresses both. A landmark study published in the journal Anti-Cancer Agents in Medicinal Chemistry found that beetroot extracts significantly slowed tumor growth in animal models. Human clinical trials are ongoing. What we can say with confidence today: eating beetroot regularly creates an internal environment in your body that is hostile to cancer cell development. That is power. Stay with me, disease number 7 is the one most people over 50 need to hear, and hashtag 12 will surprise you. Voiceover: we're only 3 in, and we haven't even touched what beetroot does to your brain, your weight, your liver, or your blood sugar. Keep watching. Disease 4, type 2 diabetes and blood sugar dysregulation diabetes, is at epidemic levels globally. And the pre-diabetes zone, where blood sugar is elevated but not yet clinical, affects hundreds of millions more. Beetroot's role in blood sugar management is often overlooked, and here is why it matters. Despite being sweet in taste, beetroot has a relatively low glycemic load when consumed as a whole vegetable. More importantly, the alpha-lipoic acid found in beet greens improves insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells respond more effectively to insulin, reducing the amount your pancreas has to produce. Studies have shown that regular consumption of beet fiber improves glucose tolerance and helps flatten the blood sugar spikes that, over time, damage nerves, kidneys, and blood vessels. For people managing type 2 diabetes, this is a meaningful dietary tool. Disease 5, liver disease, and fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, now affects roughly 1 in 4 adults worldwide. The liver is your body's primary detox organ, and when it becomes overwhelmed with fat and toxins, it cannot do its job properly. Betaine, one of beetroot's most important compounds, is actually produced naturally in your body from choline, and it plays a critical protective role in the liver. It prevents and can help reverse the accumulation of fat in liver cells. It supports methylation, a critical cellular repair process, and it reduces liver enzyme elevations that indicate cellular damage. Multiple studies have confirmed that betaine supplementation and dietary betaine from sources like beetroot can meaningfully reduce liver fat, reduce inflammation in liver tissue, and lower the risk of progression to fibrosis or cirrhosis. Disease 6, obesity and weight management: beetroot will not melt fat overnight. But it is one of the most supportive foods you can add to a weight management plan for reasons that go beyond calories. It is high in fiber, which slows digestion, promotes satiety, and feeds your beneficial gut bacteria. It contains betaine, which supports a healthy metabolic rate. It is naturally low in fat and moderate in calories while being highly nutrient dense, meaning you get maximum nutritional value for minimal caloric cost. But here is what most people do not know. The nitric oxide generated by beetroot's nitrates has been shown to improve exercise efficiency. Studies published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that athletes who consumed beetroot juice required up to 16% less oxygen to perform the same level of physical work. That means you can exercise harder, longer, and more effectively, which is the engine of any sustainable weight loss strategy. Disease 7, anemia and iron deficiency: if you are tired all the time, if climbing stairs leaves you breathless, if your skin looks pale, if your concentration is poor, anemia could be the reason. And beetroot is one of the best dietary tools for fighting it. Beetroot is a good source of iron, but more importantly, it contains vitamin C, which significantly enhances iron absorption from food, and folate, which is essential for the production of healthy red blood cells. A deficiency in folate causes megaloblastic anemia, where red blood cells are too large and misshapen to carry oxygen efficiently. For women, for seniors, for individuals recovering from illness or surgery, regular beetroot consumption can meaningfully support healthy hemoglobin levels. Disease 8, inflammatory conditions: arthritis, joint pain, gout, chronic inflammation is at the root of most degenerative disease. Arthritis, gout, inflammatory bowel disease, these are all conditions driven by the body's inflammatory response going into overdrive. Beetroot's betalain pigments, specifically beta-cyanin and betaxanthin, are potent natural anti-inflammatory agents. Multiple studies have shown they inhibit the same cyclooxygenase enzymes that pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen target. The difference is that beetroot does this without damaging your stomach lining or raising your cardiovascular risk. For patients with rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, or chronic joint pain, adding beetroot to the diet is one of the safest, most evidence-backed dietary interventions available. Disease 9 dementia and cognitive decline the brain represents 2% of your body weight, but consumes 20% of your blood supply. Anything that improves circulation is, by definition, good for your brain. The nitric oxide produced from beetroot's nitrates is particularly significant for cerebral blood flow the circulation of blood through the brain. As we age, this circulation naturally declines. Research from Wake Forest University found that elderly subjects who consumed high nitrate beetroot juice had significantly increased blood flow to the white matter of the frontal lobes, the regions most associated with executive function, decision-making, and early Alzheimer's changes. Betalains also cross the blood-brain barrier and provide direct antioxidant protection to neural tissue, reducing the oxidative stress that contributes to neurodegenerative conditions, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Disease 10 high cholesterol and atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries due to plaque buildup, is the underlying condition behind most heart attacks and strokes. It begins with LDL cholesterol becoming oxidized and embedding itself in artery walls. Beetroot's antioxidants directly prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, stopping the process before it can begin. Studies have also shown that regular beet consumption lowers total LDL levels while having a neutral to positive effect on HDL, the protective cholesterol. The fiber in beetroot also binds to cholesterol in the gut and escorts it out of the body before it can be absorbed. Disease 11 kidney disease and urinary tract health. Your kidneys filter your entire blood supply approximately 60 times per day. Maintaining healthy blood pressure, which beetroot supports powerfully, is the single most important thing you can do to protect your kidneys from progressive damage. Beetroot also supports kidney function through its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, which protect renal tissue from damage caused by chronic high blood sugar, hypertension, and oxidative stress. Betalains have been shown in animal studies to reduce markers of kidney injury in diabetic nephropathy models. One important caution: people who already have advanced kidney disease or who are prone to kidney stones, specifically calcium oxalate stones, should be cautious with high beetroot consumption due to its oxalate content. Speak to your doctor. Disease 12 erectile dysfunction and male sexual health. This is a topic most men will not bring up with their doctor. But it matters not just for quality of life, but as a marker of cardiovascular health, because erectile dysfunction is often an early warning sign of poor circulation and arterial disease. The mechanism behind erection is essentially a vascular event. Nitric oxide signals blood vessels to dilate and fill the erectile tissue with blood. This is, incidentally, exactly how medications like sildenafil work. They prevent the breakdown of nitric oxide. Beetroot raises your body's natural nitric oxide production. Multiple studies and clinical reviews have identified dietary nitrate consumption, including from beetroot, as a meaningful natural intervention for mild to moderate erectile dysfunction. It addresses the root cause, impaired blood flow and endothelial dysfunction. For any man over 40, this is a compelling reason by itself. Disease 13 depression. Stress and mental health, the connection between physical health and mental health, is now one of the most active areas in medical research. And beetroot has a remarkable role to play here. Beetroot is one of the richest dietary sources of betaine, and betaine is critical for the production of SAMe, S-adenosylmethionine, in your body. SAMe is a natural mood regulator that is actually sold as a supplement for depression in many countries. It supports serotonin and dopamine production, and multiple clinical trials have confirmed its efficacy as an antidepressant. Additionally, beetroot's anti-inflammatory properties matter for mental health. Inflammation in the body drives inflammation in the brain, now strongly linked to depression, anxiety, and cognitive disorders. Reducing systemic inflammation through diet is a legitimate, evidence-based strategy for supporting mental well-being. Disease 14 gut health and digestive disorders. Your gut is your second brain. The trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system influence everything from your immune function to your mood to your body weight. Beetroot is an excellent source of soluble and insoluble dietary fiber, which feeds beneficial bacteria in the colon, particularly Bifidobacterium and Lactobacillus species. This prebiotic effect supports a healthy gut microbiome, reduces constipation, and lowers the risk of colorectal cancer. The betaine in beetroot also supports stomach acid production and bile secretion, two key components of proper digestion. People who struggle with bloating, slow digestion, or nutrient malabsorption can benefit significantly from regular beetroot consumption. Disease 15, osteoporosis and bone health, we do not typically think of root vegetables when we think about bone health. But beetroot's nutritional profile supports skeletal strength in ways that are often underappreciated. Folate deficiency is associated with elevated homocysteine levels, and elevated homocysteine has been independently shown to accelerate bone loss and increase fracture risk. Beetroot is an excellent source of folate, and by keeping homocysteine in check, it indirectly protects bone density. Beetroot also contains silica, a mineral that supports the incorporation of calcium into bone and connective tissue. Its magnesium content supports muscle function, which in turn protects bones by reducing fall risk. And its anti-inflammatory properties reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation that contributes to osteoclast activity, the cellular process of bone breakdown. How to get these benefits practical guide. You do not need to overhaul your entire diet. Here is exactly how to incorporate beetroot effectively. How much to eat: 1 to 2 medium beetroots per day, or 200-250 mml, about 1 cup of fresh beetroot juice for blood pressure and exercise benefits, best consumed 2 to 3 hours before physical activity. Consistent daily use produces the most significant results. Occasional consumption has limited effect. Best ways to consume: raw, grated into salads, maximum nutrient preservation; roasted, caramelizes naturally. Sweeter flavor, some nitrate loss, but betalains preserved, juiced. Highest nitrate delivery, fastest absorption, ideal for cardiovascular effect; boiled. Slightly lower nutrient content, but still highly beneficial and most digestible; fermented/pickled. Adds probiotic benefit, but significantly lower nitrate content. Important note on bacteria: do not be alarmed if your urine or stool turns pink or red after eating. Beetroot. This is called bacteria. It is harmless. It simply means betalains are passing through your system. In some individuals, this indicates lower stomach acid. It is not blood. It is not dangerous. Here is what I want you to do. I want you to comment below. Just type one word in the comments, free, and I will know you watched this entire video and that you are serious about your health. When I see enough of you write free, I will create a complete Beetroot Healing Protocol PDF that I will send directly to anyone who asks. Your commitment is the trigger. And while you are down there, if this video gave you even one thing that surprised you, one thing you are going to act on, hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds, and it tells me this kind of detailed, honest, doctor-led content is what you want more of. Subscribe if you have not already. I publish new health education videos every week, no sponsored content, no products to sell, just science-backed information your body needs. Next week, I am going to show you the 5 foods that work powerfully alongside beetroot to create what I call a longevity stack: 5 foods eaten together that produce effects no single food can achieve alone. You do not want to miss that. 15 diseases. 1 vegetable. And it is sitting in your grocery store right now for less than the price of a cup of coffee. Medicine does not always come in a bottle. Sometimes it grows in the ground. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your health is the simplest thing: go back to what the earth actually provides. I have been a doctor for a long time. I have seen patients transform their health through diet. I have seen medications replaced by food. And I have seen this one vegetable, this humble, deep red root, genuinely change the trajectory of people's lives. Give it a chance. Give it 30 days. And then come back here and tell me what changed. Take care of your body. It's the only one you have.